Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction. And we have to be very clear that what is happening here with these district attorneys, that is violence. That is violence of the highest degree.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point, standing before you, I think of the words of Jawaharlal Nehru. A moment comes but rarely in history when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends and when the soul of a nation long suppressed finds utterance. Tonight we have stepped out from the old into the new. So let us speak now with clarity and conviction that cannot be misunderstood about what this new age will deliver and for whom. This will be an age where New Yorkers expect from their leaders a bold vision of what we will achieve, rather than a list of excuses for what we are too timid to attempt.
You can't always tell everything that's going on right up front, because if you tell everything that's going on right up front, then your enemy is going to know exactly what you're doing.
I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
So yeah, we have a bigger issue than just Democrats. We have an issue of the American indoctrinated people that just let things like this go. It's been happening for years and years and years, and frankly, I'm sick of it. And so I'm just telling you, they're telling you, and they've been telling you this stuff in front of your face for a really long time.
Our own government working against us. I mean, we've always had the government working against us. We just didn't know it. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is April of June. Yeah, some of you guys are misreading the headline. It says New York City turns red from the Big Apple to the Red Apple because now it's a communist area. Isn't that one kind of red to another? It certainly is. So, you know, they can say whatever they want, but they just voted for a communist. And those things that were in the very beginning of the show, were from Mamdani's speech yesterday after the election. He didn't quote the founding fathers. He quoted jihadists. Are you seriously kidding me right now? So New York has literally just basically turned themselves into a worse manifestation, whatever, of what was going on before. It's not good. And, you know, I don't consider any of the elections yesterday as a huge loss because they were already blue to begin with. But now they just made themselves even worse. Okay. So before we get into Mamdani, let's talk about, I think it was Virginia. They just elected their attorney general who is wishing for the murder of his opponents, Republican opponents, and also was fantasizing about putting bullets into the heads of children and then taking a leak on their graves. That is the deviant nature of West Virginia. Why would anybody want to even go there? Now, was it Virginia or was it West Virginia? It doesn't make any difference. They're still both tyrannical, blue, ridiculous states. And, you know, it's really sad because there were the 13 colonies that was part of it. And now they're like, I don't even want to visit there. They've literally just made sure that nobody wants to go there. So we're going to go through some of these videos. I want to say hi to Kim. How are you? And Techno Mag says, let's get ready to rumble. You know, that used to be the thing for the football. But now they've got some ridiculous guy on there doing a rap song that I was thinking about, you know, what they used to have and what the NFL has now as their song. And I'm like, can you make it any softer? Why don't you just all run around in your man buns underneath your helmets? Because yikes, now they're a bunch of girls. I'm so over it. Their judgment is coming. I believe that. Proposition 50 redistricting of California passed. Oh, I know. But what's really weird about that whole thing is that, and I'm going to show you the video of it. There's a bunch of Chinese people that voted that had no idea what they were voting for. They were taken over there, just like Democrats do. They lead a whole bunch of people over there and say, vote for this. And the people do it. I don't know what their compensation was, but they had to have something, I'm sure. Just me, aloha. I haven't seen your channel in years. That's probably true, because I've been shadow man forever. Thinking impaired. I like that. Thinking impaired has a cat as their little icon there. The Proposition 50 will screw California for decades. Well, I'll tell you what Ron DeSantis said about that, because he's right. You're aloha from North Idaho. That's pretty good. Yeah, I believe New York City is dead. It really is. Cheryl I really thought the bad guy won. The bad guy did win. And now it's commie territory. Linda Dubois, how are you? Nice to see you today. Who is this? Leslie, what do you say? I told many people 15 years ago that Muslims are not coming here to assimilate. That's true. They're coming to establish Sharia law, and here we are. No one believed me. Well, they should believe them, because every single Muslim I've ever come across has said exactly that. One of these days, you will be bowing, and he said, bowing to us, every single one of them, bowing to us, and you will have Sharia law in your house. I'm like, no, we won't. So, like I said, I think Ron DeSantis is right. I'm going to play a video of him. Red Commie. Oh, yeah. Red Commie. Did you see the video, the thumbnail that I made? It is the grave of New York City, 1624 to 2025, with a communist flag in the back. There are mourners standing by the graveside and a bunch of thugs behind them getting ready to knock them out, which I think is where we are today. Yes, nice industrial tech. Nice to see you. We've got Ralph Riley in the room too. It's crazy that New Yorkers voted Zoram just to get freebies. Yeah, this is what they do all the time. They literally have no idea what's going on. Well-named show to podcast. Time to grab the popcorn. As JD Vance said, he's a gift to conservatives as he becomes the face of the Democratic Party. I believe that. You know, and the Democratic Party said, no, this is not what our party looks like. Right, it is. Thinking Impaired says Sharia in New York. Yes, for sure. I believe it's in Dearborn, Michigan, where they have the Sharia cops. Yeah, they go around house to house. Yeah, it's just totally. Hey, Felix, nice to see you over there. Let the movie begin. Escape from New York. I know. I thought of that yesterday. I almost played a clip from Escape from New York, but it's hard to find the right one. I mean, I know what I'm thinking in my head, but to find that one. Exactly. The Democrat Party is dead. They're divided amongst themselves. Well, that's one way to implode. No one agrees on what direction to take their party. Their party's literally flushing themselves down the toilet. I mean, can you go any faster towards that way? Greg says their judgment is coming. I believe that. New York, the new official. You guys can read that. Stinkhole. Along with California, for sure. That is so true. Shaunavision is over there on Twitch. Nice to see you. They say 63% voted in no in the North state, but it's the rest of the state that voted yes. Well, I don't know. Once you get a big cancer in a state, I don't know why you'd want to live there anyway. It doesn't make any sense to me. But those videos that I played in the very beginning are, now one was from Australia, but the one where they were all beating their chests, that was actually from Texas. And that was yesterday. Yeah. So, oh gosh, Texas, what are you doing? Can you be even more deviant and ridiculous than you already are? Here's a guy. Well, let's just show you exactly what the Liberals did last night when Mamdani won. It's almost like if Jewish people just put their own selves in the ovens. Yeah, just, oh, the oven's right over there. Yeah, I'll go idle. And knowing what they were doing. That is a reprobate mind for sure. Yeah, can you guys just shove us in the oven any faster? Just asking. Just asking for a friend. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Here's what happened yesterday.
Done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be upon, of Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home. So I want you to repeat after me. I want to hear it in every single district. It should tremble. Brooklyn should hear it. The Bronx should hear it. Queens should hear it. Say it as if the Ummah depends on this, my brothers and sisters. La ilaha illallah.
Really? That is New York. That was right in Times Square yesterday. I don't know. Is that what you voted for, New York? Is that exactly what you voted for? Because I can't wait to ask you after a few months of this stuff. Here is the intern for Mamdani's campaign. She's telling you like it is.
That none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that
it's all jihad. Hello.
This is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because that's.
Can she speak any more ghetto? Just wondering. So apparently Islam and ghetto language go to hand in hand.
It's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested.
Yeah, so you got to take over everything so you can.
How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And
bigger noble cause.
I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
Are you kidding me? Who's going to wake up? Surely the pastors aren't waking up. I mean, I'm going to guarantee you on Sunday, there will be very few, maybe 2 or 3 that are going to say something from the pulpit. Like, you guys need to understand that this is a war. I mean, do you really think that any of them are going to say anything like that? Listen to this guy.
A warning to everybody in the United States of America, and I hope you're listening up very clearly. Islam is knocking at the door. And when Islam knocks on the door, they knock with a suicide vest strapped to them, all right? You are talking about jihad. You are talking about people taking over our government who are Muslims and believe 100% in the doctrine of Islam, which is Sharia law, it is jihad, it is taqiyya, it is every horrible thing you imagine. These people do not worship our God. They do not respect our constitution. These people walk around a black box in Mecca and yell Allahu Akbar, which is a call to war. It is a call to war. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to take over. Omar Fateh in Minneapolis. He almost won that election. He may win that election. It's still early. We don't know. Zoran Mamdani, who is a complete Islamist. He won his election in New York, and he won it pretty resoundingly. The Democrat lieutenant governor of Virginia, we didn't even talk about her. Nobody even knew where she was coming out of. She is a Muslim who wears a hijab. This woman is the lieutenant governor of the state of Virginia. It is getting worse and worse and worse. You have school board candidates up and down, Muslims. City council candidates up and down, Muslims. Muslims are coming into your government. And when they get to the government, they are not fighting for the American people. They are fighting for the Muslim people. They are fighting for their own interests. Look at the United Kingdom. If you don't believe me, look at the United Kingdom, who elected a Muslim mayor in London and elected Muslims all throughout the country. They are being replaced systematically. The British people are no longer living a good life in their own country. The Muslims are taking over. They're implementing their Sharia courts. They're implementing their Sharia law. And slowly, the United Kingdom is dying. It is dying. United States of America. Let this be a warning. Let last night be a warning. These Muslims are winning elections. The Democrats are allowing the Muslims to walk right through the door. They got a suicide vest strapped onto them. It's only a matter of time till somebody walks into the Capitol and blows that place up with a suicide vest, and it won't be a terrorist. It'll be an elected congressperson elected by a community of Muslims somewhere in the United States of America. Islam is the problem. Islam is not compatible with the United States of America. Islam is not compatible with the United States Constitution. Stop this scourge before it gets out of control. And let me tell you, we're getting very, very close to the point of no return. It's not good.
I don't know. I mean, the guy is talking truth. He's speaking truth. And for some reason, we can't get any Republicans to actually rise up and say something very, very much. I mean, I don't see any Americans running around the streets. I don't see them, gathering in patriotic gatherings a lot. I see them somewhat, but not that much. They didn't do that in England either because they're all prim and proper. Well, we just turn a blind eye. And from the pulpit, we have people telling you, just, Christ will come back. He'll fix it all. So don't you think that, I don't know, he requires you to actually take action? Yeah. There's action words involved in Christianity, not sitting by the wayside. You said my grandma was very intuitive. She told me one day, you will be demanded to deny your Heavenly Father, and even at the risk of being beheaded, never ever deny Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, which is true, because that would be blasphemy. All that other stuff that people say is blasphemy, it's not blasphemy. Once you blaspheme the Holy Ghost, that's blasphemy. Taking the Lord's name in vain, saying I hate God, whatever, all that stuff isn't blasphemy. You consider it blasphemy. It's just like everything else. Every single thing is tainted and indoctrinated in some way. It's ridiculous. If you just look at history, you know what's true and what's not. Yeah, and in the very beginning, Mamdani even said that violence is an artificial construct. I am so tired of this. It's just a social construct, or it's an artificial construct. What the left does is they come up with these little catchphrases that sound good, but they're actually not good. Let's see what Stephen Miller is actually saying about illegals in this country also.
audience perfectly, Sean, this was not a loophole. The Biden administration, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, devised a scheme to fly illegal aliens into the country and then to escort them en masse across the border by the million.
By the way, yesterday we played a clip on this show from James O'Keefe about the illegals voting in that New York City election. So that whole election should be thrown out because of that.
And to give them something known as parole, which gives them a work permit, which gives them a social security number, which gives them access to the voting booth. This was the plan all along, to get them here illegally so they can get free government benefits, get hooked to welfare, and be able to participate in American elections. This was an attack on democracy by the Democrat Party.
Now, remember, if you don't allow them to do it, you can't catch them in the crime.
It's the same attack that we see, Sean, when you have California, a sanctuary state, that is refusing to turn over even illegal alien criminals and gang members to ICE. So these are illegal aliens in California who have been arrested by California police, by California law enforcement for serious crimes, for crimes against children, for felonies, for crimes that threaten public safety, and they are refusing to hand these criminal illegal aliens over to ICE. Instead, they're freeing them back into the cities to offend and offend again. By any definition, what California is doing is criminal. It is a violation of our laws. It is one of the most heinous things that I have seen in my entire.
Yeah, this is totally unacceptable in every way. And yesterday, when we played that clip from James O'Keefe going over to a supposed mission with a pastor facilitating illegals to vote and telling them to vote for Mamdani. Are you seriously kidding me right now? No, we're not kidding. That's right. We're not. Look what Ron DeSantis said, though, because this is very interesting about what he's saying.
Well, Jack would have won 4 years ago, and he would have won tonight if you just take all the Republicans who've left New Jersey since I've been governor and moved to Florida. If they could have still voted in New Jersey, he would have won both of those races. Same thing with New York City, maybe not a Republican, but, Giuliani would not be able to win with this electorate the way it is now. Because what happens, Sean, is a leftist politician gets in, whether it's destroying a state like California, Illinois, New York, whether it's a city like New York City or Chicago. And the people that it tends to drive off are the center-right voters. And so when they leave, the resulting electorate is actually more liberal. That's how you go from Lori Lightfoot to Brandon Johnson in Chicago, which is digging the hole deeper. That's why you've gone from 8 years at de Blasio, now leapfrogging here 4, to have Mamdani, who's even going to be worse. And what we found in Florida is, first of all, we're not asking for anyone to move. I mean, people have talked about putting a tariff on people moving in at this point because so many have done so. And I know a lot of people in Florida would think that would be necessary. But here's just the truth. You look at all 49 other states since I've been governor, look at who's migrated to Florida. All 49 more Republicans have moved to Florida than Democrats. Vermont, New York, Illinois, you name it. And the result of that is not just migration, because we've had a lot of people shift within Florida. But when I got elected, we had 300,000 more registered Democrats in Florida. Today, we have 1.4 million more Republicans.
That's awesome. See, I think he's right about that. Because people who are conservative don't want to live like that. And people are sitting there and pretending as if, well, I've got to stay this foothold. Like I got to stay this foothold in California because I've lived here all my life. I can't let it fall. I can't let it fall. I can't let it fall. Well, sorry, it's already fallen. It's the same thing with New York. It's the same thing with Illinois, these liberal states. And believe me, I'm not going to tell you that Missouri's much better, because Missouri, even though it looks like majority red, it looks like a super majority red, because every single county, with the exception of like 2 or 3, appears as if it's red. But the person representing that community is actually a Democrat who ran as a Republican and got elected because their strategy is, we're going to put somebody in the Republican seat. We're going to put somebody in the Democrat seat. And no matter which way you vote, you're going to vote for a Democrat. We're going to trick the Republicans into voting for someone who has an R by their name because that's what they do. And so now we have a state like Missouri who appears as if it's a super majority, but I don't believe that it is as far as the leadership is concerned. Now, as far as the people is concerned, absolutely. I do think that the majority of the people are absolutely Republicans because conservatives, because if they weren't, why would the Democrats be running in Republican seats? You see what I'm saying? So we're blinded by the R. We're not listening to the words that are coming out of their mouth. We're not looking at their track record. And we also have a lot of people that don't have track records. So they're coming up and they're installing themselves in these places. There again was voter fraud and candidates are selected, not elected. I agree with that 100%. So, for example, now what's happening is at the local levels, these Muslims or people from other countries, Somalia, look at the Somalian guy, are coming in from these other countries. They're not assimilated to the United States of America. They pretend as if they are, but they're absolutely not. And they are running for offices. And if they can get any office whatsoever, they're going to install themselves in that area. And then they're going to bring in all their friends. They're going to start with one, maybe two. And then the people, they're going to white guilt you. American guilt. Like, oh, we're such a racist country, which we're not, into voting for these people so that you can say, I was the first, I was able to vote for the first Black president. Okay, how'd that work out for you? Because we're here today because of that, okay? It's the same thing that they're doing on the local level. Oh, I'm just so happy because I voted for the first Somalian. Really? I don't think that should be the criteria of your voting. Your voting should be, is this person going to uphold the Constitution? They might as well play the Soviet anthem during the morning call to prayer across the city. I know. I agree with you. I don't even want to visit New York, which is sad because, you know, New York had the shopping and it had great theater and all this kind of stuff. And it's not going to happen. They will get rid of that eventually. So all the stuff that's happening in London, one of the biggest cities in Europe, overrun now. Because it's not like they're just going there and they're saying, okay, we're going to have a regular family. We're just going to raise them. No. They believe in having multiple wives who have multiple children and getting government assistance to do the same thing to you because you don't count. All you are is a means to an end. Look what happened to the UK after electing Sadiq Khan. I know. I wouldn't even travel there. I would have liked to travel there. I would have liked to go into a different country and experience the culture over there. I'm not going over to their country to try to change it to what I want it to be. See, this is why when they said, okay, well, you know, we're going to make some exceptions on our language and we're going to allow people to come here and we'll accommodate them with Spanish. What? We should have never done that. Because now we're having to, have you ever been to any of these cities that are like sanctuary cities? They got so many languages on their signs. I mean, the sign is bigger than the actual issue because it's got so many languages in it. If they would have just learned English, and by the way, just so you know, they do learn English in other countries. And here's the reason they learn English in other countries as their second language. They learn it because they know that Americans don't learn it. And in order to do business with America, they have to learn English. So that's just a staple in their schools. So you think that they don't know English, but they actually do. Now, whether or not the Hispanics coming over all know English, some of them do, some of them don't. But most of the time, these people actually do know English and they just pretend as if they don't. And so, because America's got a guilt trip about being American, I don't know why you got. They don't have any guilt trips about being Somalian or from Turkey or from Iran or Iraq or from anywhere in Asia at all. They don't have guilt trips for that. We're allowing people to put guilt trips on it. And I'm not a fan of Oprah, but long time ago, Oprah said something about happiness. And she said, you choose to be happy. The way that someone talks to you, you choose to receive it in a certain way. So if they're saying that you are a racist, a white supremacist, a Nazi, a fascist, a whatever they want to say, because they're exactly that, how you receive it is your problem. And once they play the mind game with you and you acquiesce to that mind game, it's over for you. This is why you have to just say, well, I guess that's your opinion. And if you don't like mine, get out of my country. You know where to go. I bet you we can put an offering out right now and everybody will be more than happy to pitch in to give you a plane ticket back home to where you came from. But see, their goal is to come over here and take it over. That's what their goal is. The Islamic goal is to take over the entire world, not just their little portion of it. So this is a huge, huge problem. One of my cousins used to teach English to Japanese children over in Japan. See? Yeah. See, when I knew this stuff back when I was a kid, taking, and I say kid, but I was a teenager, taking language class. And that was the whole reason, is because they wanted to be able to do business with America. And Americans, it's not required in America to learn a different language, but it is required in other schools around the world to take English as their second language. So yeah, this is a huge, huge, huge problem that I think is only going to come and bite the liberals where they live. Because, okay, so yesterday was this, wasn't like a Super Tuesday or anything, but it was pretty big election time over the United States of America for various places. The Democrats didn't make any headway at all. Now, the Democrats wanted to wait until after the shutdown to go back into some session and pretend as if they're going to reopen the government. Whether they do or whether they don't, it leaked that they were supposed to open it on Thursday, which is, see, today they're regrouping, pretending to negotiate, pretending that they want to have a meeting with Donald Trump, all that kind of stuff, which I don't even know why they do, because they don't need a meeting with Donald Trump to walk into that room and to vote for the same thing they've done 14 times before. So it's like, what do you want to talk to Trump about? You know, you want to get more health care for illegals? Well, that's not going to happen. You want $1 trillion to do something? That's not going to happen either. You know, if you want to keep the government shut down, it's actually fine with me, because the states now are proving that they can take care of their own people, which is what they probably the actual bottom line is for the United States of America, as far as Donald Trump is concerned, is in the federal level is, what difference does it make? They can take care of their own stuff. They got their own surpluses. They got their own money. They can do it all by themselves. They don't need government Mac Daddy to help them. So they gained nothing yesterday. In fact, they dug the hole even deeper yesterday. This is ridiculous. I think it was Ralph just said earlier that you don't interfere with an enemy while they're digging their own hole. While they are making sure to ruin their own area, okay, don't interfere with them. I think that's true to one point, but the problem is cancer spreads. Okay, that's the biggest issue. Cancer spreads, and that means, see, in your whole area, let's say that you got candidates running for office, all right, and you can visibly tell that someone is from a different country. They're wearing their little hood scarf, or they're speaking like Mondani does, whatever. And you go, hey, this guy's philosophy is socialist communist. Okay, now Mamdani was not socialist, total communist, right? You know, you warn all your neighbors. And I'm thinking about the Democratic or the Republican Party where I am. Okay. They're so stupid that if one of those people joined the Republican Party and said, I want to run for office, or I want to be one of the representatives for the neighborhoods, a precinct captain or whatever, they go, come right on in. I would say, excuse me, I think you need some caution there. You need to figure out what this person's doing before you just say, come right in and, you know, be a precinct captain. Because the next thing you know, Mike Pence was a precinct captain. That's how he started out his career in politics, and he became the vice president. So you sure you want to go that route? Because they're just trying to find any foothold they can. So they look at these maps and they find out who is not represented. Where is a place where it's going to be easy to get in? And I already know this works because I know other people who have done the same thing, that said, you know what, I want to be in politics and I'm going to move to the location where I have to be in order to be able to be elected. Where's going to be an easy win? Someplace that no one will run. They go over there, they move there, they do whatever's required. Might be living there for a month. It might be living there for a year or two, because they're in it for the long haul. Republicans are not in anything for the long haul. In fact, as soon as an election is over, the Republicans relax and they forget. And then they go, wait a minute, we got an election coming up. Let's throw somebody in there. They don't groom people. They don't sit there and say, hey, you know what we've got to do? We're going to have to make sure that the next time we choose somebody, that it's somebody that actually knows what's going on and is for our agenda. I don't know if you can hear that outside, but I can hear the military helicopters outside. I hate that sound, but you know, it is what it is. I live fairly close to a base. What are you saying, Judy? We're watching low frequency people sorting themselves and decreasing their frequency even further. I know. So our hope is that they do decrease their population, but here's the other problem. While liberals are whining about too many white people, you know, they're being lesbians and gay people and all that kind of thing, mutilating their bodies so that there's no way they can have children. This is exactly what the Muslims want them to do. Because if they're not reproducing, and the Muslims are in multiples, because, okay, remember, they believe in multiple marriages. So if they got 4 wives, 5 wives, 6 wives, however, they can get them all pregnant at the same time, have 6 babies all at the same time. Then it's 12, then it's 24, on and on and on. Okay. They're going to multiply rapidly, and not you. There's only one person that I can think of in the entire government who could actually fix this problem right now. And I guarantee he's not going to do it. Now, if he does do it, it'd be amazing. I would be like, yes. Yeah, and the wives and the children. Yeah, for sure. Here's what would be amazing. If Marco Rubio stepped up to the plate, and for every single one of the ones who have declared jihad and broken their oath, their citizenship oath, because there is a citizenship oath that they have to take. They have to denounce another country. They cannot be loyal to another country. They have to take that oath. And remember, these guys are trained to lie. It's okay to lie because you're the infidel. But Marco Rubio could actually revoke their citizenship and deport them. He could. Now, he was not going to be able to do that to the people who are in the United States, born and raised here. But he certainly can for the ones who aren't. I mean, I think he needs to have a stack of probably 1 million people on his desk right now who need to be reviewed and see if their citizenship needs to be revoked. Do you think he's going to do it? He might not do it unless we rise up and write him a letter and say, Marco Rubio, I think you need to look into all of these people, because these people are actually enemies of the United States. They're not here to further the United States and make sure that our Constitution is defended. Thought they were going after Ilhan Omar for that? I thought they were too. She needs to be deported. People who are not loyal to the United States, who come in here and pretend as if they are loyal and take that oath and are lying, need to go. Mamdani is one of them. Their public statements should be enough to revoke their citizenship. I know if you went to a different country and you did that in their country, they would boot you in a minute. First, they would detain you, and then they would deport you. So it's just the United States that has, I don't know, softies running everything. Oh, poor little you. Are you sure you're not seeking asylum? Are you sure you're not seeking asylum? Wink, wink. Okay, they're not seeking asylum. They're seeking to take over the entire United States in any means possible. They start investigations and then nothing happens. Exactly. You never hear of it. Again, tiresome indeed, for sure. Did you know, guys, that you can actually go to your state legislature and you can give a testimony in your state capital about something? All you have to do is sign up on the list. That's it. Find the right committee. That's all you got to do. You can walk right into your state capitals, and you can walk right into their offices and talk to them. I know, I've done it before. Friendly or not, you still should do it. You should be going there to those state representatives, to those city council offices, and say, hey, we have an infestation. Because now, with all these people that are declaring jihad on the United States, because that's what they are actually doing. All right. With all of that, do you think that's not going to empower the sleeper cells to do the same exact thing, which are installed in every single community across the United States of America? That's exactly what they're doing. If you're lucky, they've been known to silence you for good. Yeah, exactly. I definitely agree. No accountability in the Democratic Party. Yeah. And now they just elected a guy who's fantasizing about killing us and our children. What kind of guy is that? He's now the top cop in the state. And I say top cop, he's the top lawyer. You think he's going to do anything in your favor? Of course not. He is there to advance the Democratic Party's agenda, which is complete and total destruction of the United States of America. Now, if you're a Democrat still, and you don't think that's their goal, you're not paying any attention. If you sit there and you say that you're a Democrat, and the reason you're a Democrat is because my mom and dad were, that's not a reason. Back when I was a kid, Democrats were like JFK. They were mildly insane. I say mildly insane, but they were. They were mildly insane. They didn't agree with a lot of things that were actually the right thing to do. And it has progressed year after year after year because Democrats are in it for the long game. They know how long it takes. Evil knows how long it takes to do this. What a slap in the face to all the victims of 9/11. What happened to never forget? Well, that's why I said, look at Charlie Kirk. Look at Charlie Kirk. It wasn't even 1 week later, and the Democrats were doubling down on, we want you dead. The Democrats were still upping their rhetoric. They're still upping their rhetoric today. Charlie Kirk was murdered, and they didn't tone it down. My governor is openly trying to get New Yorkers to move down here. Are you in Florida? I'm just asking, because Ron DeSantis did say that we're getting more and more Republicans. In fact, I think I just played that one clip, and he said that the Republicans are like going there in droves. But I'm going to tell you something, Florida. Floridians. Oh, Tennessee. Well, here's a message to Floridians. If you keep the courts like they are, then you're not doing anyone a favor. It's the same thing in Texas. Texas is their next target. Did I play that? I don't think I played this video for you. This guy is telling you like it is. Let's see.
Know this, that Islam will enter every house.
This is Texas.
Every house. Don't worry about the Islamophobes. They can yap all they want. Their children will be Muslim. All those people of Taif, go to Taif today. Show me a kafir there. All Muslims. Read Tariq al-Thaqafi. Al-Thaqafi, this Qabila is from Taif. Great mujahideen, great ulama, they came from the children of those they used to throw the stones. So Islam will enter every house. What's the question? Are me and you going to be a part of it? Are we going to take that become that sabab, that means, so that Allah puts all of that in your hisab? So you can be a part of this great victory that's coming, and wallahi it's coming. It's coming in every house, in every country. Today here in Australia, subhanAllah, I'm sitting here in a masjid that we have people all the way out past the second place. Look at this. Who could have imagined these many Muslims in Australia? And it's not going to stop. You can stop immigration, you can stop whatever, you can do Muslim bans. Wallahi, it's not stopping. Because the Prophet ﷺ said it will enter every house.
And they're shooting for Texas.
Today, from some of the staunchest enemies of Islam, preachers and pastors, you see Muslims. We know them, we deal with them. Some of them that are still in the church, that still hide their Islam, I know them. But they are Muslims. So inshallah, it will reach every place, but each one of us, our sisters, you need to be involved in the da'wah. Don't waste your social media. Utilize it for da'wah. Our brothers, especially our young brothers, stop posting videos of you, flossing and doing stupid dances and jumping off, stupidity things, No, we stand for that tawheed. Nobody cares what game you were playing that day or what burger you had that day. No, utilize your social media for da'wah. Take those clips, take those reels, make videos, promote them, put them on your TikTok, put them on your Instagram, put them on your WhatsApp statuses, so that you can be a means of hidayah. Even if you're not out there getting stabbed like me, but you will be a means of people becoming Muslim. If you have
This is just ridiculous to me. Take them at their word.
wealth, donate with your wealth.
When you're at the park, somebody talks, hey, you believe in that Islam, that be chopping off hands? Yeah, I do. I think it's better than what you believe in. And you're not stealing something small, it's more than a 1/4 of a gold dinar and thing. You're just stealing because you want to cause corruption and this and that. Chop off a hand in public.
In public.
Let me see somebody rob you again. Allah, you're going to be walking around with wads of cash and people will be like, I don't even see it.
Islam is our relationship. Kufr breaks our relationship. You could be from my enemy tribe, you could be from somebody I hate, but if you're a mu'min, if you're a Muslim, you are my brother, you are beloved to me. You could be my own father. If you fight Islam, I will fight you. This is the way a Muslim has to be.
Today you see, and I'm not trying to mention any names, and I'm not trying to, I'm not a drama queen, I'm not trying to bring up any kind of drama here, but you see major figures in the Islamic community trying to water down Islamic concepts, right? Like, the Sharia punishments were for that time. Who can it? Norway. If the Sahaba went to Norway, they would love it. They would migrate. I don't know. They would just be like, "Who needs Sharia? You have Norway." Like what? You think Allah Subhanahu wa Taala didn't know about the time and place that's gonna come? The Sharia is the Sharia. We believe in it. The hudud are hudud. We stand by them. We're not afraid of. We're not ashamed. We don't apologize. We don't water anything down. We don't compromise. None of that.
Are you getting it yet? Do you think your neighbors are getting it? I don't really think that my neighbors are getting it. I don't think that my legislatures are getting it. I don't think that the people who are the political heads of the community or the state of Missouri or any of that, the Republicans are not getting it. I don't think they understand. This is a huge, huge problem. And until we get rid of voting machines and take back our election boards, this is what you're going to get. Because I do believe that people, for the most part, probably wouldn't be voting for their own demise. But it's been rigged for so long. I don't know. But I do think that Ron DeSantis does have a point. And that is, these people are going to be left to their own demise for sure. And that could, even if you took away the voting machines and everything was on paper and everything was counted on paper, and a guy like Mamdani would win, that means you're living in the wrong location. That means you better get your family out of there pretty fast. But the destruction of the United States of America is inevitable. I mean, that's just biblical. So I do know it's coming. I just, I don't know how bad it's going to have to be before Christ comes back, I mean, look at London. Look at Dearborn, Michigan. It's pretty bad there. Look at Chicago. Look at Portland. Those are pretty bad places. I mean, the Bible's pretty clear. It says that it's going to be like in the times of Noah, which means that it was worse than in Sodom and Gomorrah, because you'd think that they would have said, well, it's going to be as bad as Sodom and Gomorrah, but apparently it was worse in the days of Noah. So that's where we're at. We're heading right in that direction. So the time is going to come when you're going to have a choice, and you're going to have to make that choice. And, you better be on the right side, because the consequences of being on the wrong side really have to do with your eternal life. It's a sad, sad day for New York. New Yorkers just pretty much killed their own city. And we can see it right before our very eyes.